Hi, I'm your Dallas-Fort Worth real estate agent, Nick Good. In today's video, I'm going to cover one of the most commonly asked questions I get is, when is the best time to buy a new home? Buying a new home is probably going to be your most expensive purchase. And if you're like most people, including myself, you probably want to get a great deal when it comes to buying a house or buying anything in general. And so when it comes to wanting to get that great deal, you need to pay attention to some certain local market conditions in order to determine when is the best time to buy, or if you're buying in that, how can you time it just right? So the first thing to pay attention to is, are you in a buyer's or seller's market? And what I mean by that, if you're in a seller's market, typically you see that there are less houses for sale, more buyer demand, and that's typically when we see low days on market. Those are usually when you see multiple offer and bidding wars. You see homeowners able to get a little bit higher prices, more aggressive, sometimes people say outrageous prices than you normally would see in a normal or buyer's market, as well as less concessions, meaning they're less willing to pay your closing costs or do certain repair request items. In that buyer's market, you're going to see more houses for sale, less buyer demand. The days to sell are typically a lot longer, and you'll see a lot less bidding wars, multiple offer situations, so a lot less of those, as well as typically we see homeowners willing to give concessions, willing to pay that closing cost, willing to pay that HOA, that yearly HOA fee, willing to do certain repair items that normally you wouldn't see in a seller's market. So if you are trying to figure out what market you're in, definitely reach out to us or your local real estate agent, and they'll definitely let you know, where your market stands. The second thing to pay attention to is, where are mortgage rates? Mortgage rates can fluctuate just like gas prices. They can fluctuate daily and monthly. So determining, are you in an increasing mortgage rate trend where you're going to lose purchasing power because the rates are going up on a weekly or monthly basis? So right now here locally, we're seeing rates right around that 4.25%, and they aren't projecting to continue to see that upward trend, at least for 2019. So whenever you're watching this video, reach out to us. We can definitely let you know, or we can get you set up with a great loan officer and lending company to determine where rates are and what's the best loan product for you. The second factors, or some other factors to consider, are more personal. So do you have the income and credit to qualify for a home loan and to get that best interest rate possible? Because the last thing we want to do is you're just on the line of qualification, and the rates are a little bit higher, the fees are a little bit higher, and it just makes the numbers real tight. So it's always best to be more prepared for that. Get your credit score up if there's any blemishes on it. Talking with a local lender beforehand. So I did a video on some of the top home buying mistakes, and one of them is home buyers wanting to look at houses before getting pre-approved for a home loan. So it's always imperative to talk to a lender before you're close to being ready, so you can determine, do you have any blemishes on your credit report that need to be fixed? The second thing to think of personally is, are you mentally prepared to be a homeowner? There's maintenance and items that you need to take care of. So, for example, if a hot water heater bursts while you're in Mexico, like it happened to me, then you need to have someone to be able to handle that, or you need to figure out how to problem solve that if you're in Mexico, on vacation, and your hot water heater bursts in your attic and you have water coming through and flooding out your garage. So being able to mentally prepare for that, having the budget to maintain your home if items like a hot water heater or your AC goes out. You can't just call up the handyman, at your apartment complex or your landlord to come have them fix that on their dime. So that's now on your dime, as well as keeping up with your curb appeal and yard maintenance. So it's just being mentally ready to take that next step of home ownership. And then the best month to buy a home is January. So most people are coming over those holiday hangovers. And so what we see is that buyer demand a little bit less in January versus the other months. And so we typically have found that homeowners are more willing to give up and concede concessions in any type of market that we're in, regardless if we're in a seller's or buyer's market. So really the best time as a home buyer to buy is that January timeframe. One of the worst times, if you're really going to time the months, is that May-June timeframe. Reason being is, when does everyone think that the hottest markets are to sell? May, June, and July, because people are out of school, it's the summer months, people can relocate, etc. So typically we see during that May, June timeframe, you see that buyer demand picking up. You see homeowners less willing because they have that mental mindset that these are the best months to sell, less willing to concede on their prices a little bit. So those are, if you can time it, then May and June are typically your worst months to buy if you're looking for that negotiation flexibility room. And then also, when is that perfect time to start house hunting? That's only up for you to decide. So if you're a first-time home buyer, it's really looking at, when is your lease up? We can time that just right. Or, when is the house on, if you're renting a house, when is that up? Or if you're living with parents, when are they asking you to move on out and get out of the nest, right? So, you can definitely reach out to us. If you need to sell before buying your home, that's something where you really need to have the right real estate agent and the right team working for you in order to make sure that they time it just right. I can say one thing: we've never had anybody go homeless because we sold their home too soon and we couldn't find them another house. Without we don't want them to just concede and just go into some dump house just because their house sold too quickly. So it's being able to really time that perfectly. So having that right real estate agent to help you and having that right team to help you with that is key. So if you do like these videos, please make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Leave a comment down below, as well as leave some comments of your experience if you are thinking about buying a home right now. What are what's going through your mind? What do you need help with in order to prepare? Or what was your experience when you bought your first home or when you sold and bought? I'd love to hear it. And if you are thinking about selling and or buying, or both, please reach out to us. We'd love to at least give that free consultation, or you can always go to our website, search all available homes for sale in Dallas-Fort Worth at thegoodhometeam.com. Thank you guys so much.